Hi and good morning. It's almost 2 a.m. for me, and I'm just up and awake because I'm really excited about getting this channel together. This is not a full video, it's just a brief introduction to who I am and to what my hopes are for this channel. The idea for it has been sitting with me for a long time. As a lot of you know, I'm a writer. I have my MFA in writing. I studied English and philosophy in my undergrad, and the humanities have always been just a gigantic part of my life. And as I've transitioned into being a mom and a wife and living in different places all over the country and being in a variety of teaching positions, that desire to really say how it is that the humanities connect to me and connect us and share our experiences with each other and how they cross bridges and do all of that wonderful connecting work is so apparently needed. It has always been needed, and it is such a gift to be able to share that. And so what I hope this page is able to do is just be a resource for people. And I think that what I've learned over the past few years in kind of my own journey in being an independent scholar and a writer and kind of doing this work on my own and not being majorly affiliated with the university and, not being in places for long periods of time, it's really important for me to be able to just articulate how something strikes me, what stands out to me about a poem, what feels significant about, the digitalization of a historical document, why something in the public arts field feels really exciting to me. And I share a lot of these things on my Facebook page, and I realized that, I feel like this should just be something separate, and I just want to see what happens with it. So I hope that this grows. The first thing I really wanted to share with you is something that my friend Phoebe requested, and I'm not going to do all of it, but it gives a little bit of background to the name of my page. So this is called The Shared World, which is a very apropos title for a page about the humanities, for a page about arts and history and literature and philosophy and history, if I haven't said that right, all these different things. We keep these records and we look at these records in new ways and we create because we have the desire to connect. We have the desire to share and to commune with one another. And these experiences of richness and our ability to find what's beautiful, what's striking, what's challenging, what's scary, what's hopeful in these different exchanges that we have both with each other and, with the made world and the natural world. These things are all just really powerful to share. And the poem that the title of my page comes from is from Naomi Shihab Nye, who is now currently the youth poet laureate of the United States. And she's been writing poems for decades, and I've had the privilege of being able to share her poetry with students in a variety of ways. And this poem has a couple different titles to it, and like I said, I'm not going to read all of it, but it gets shared a lot. It's one of her most famous poems, and it has the line "the shared world" in it. And obviously, as I said before, the work of the humanities is connecting us. And what I find so powerful in this poem, along with the descriptions and the images, is the fact that it's about people connecting and communing with one another and being able to, across race and class and language and direction, be together. And I really hope that that's what this page offers to you as you are journeying through your own life, as you yourself are somebody who would like to know more about the arts and about the humanities, but feels like, you're like somebody like my dad who's like, oh, I can't read that Shakespeare stuff. I don't understand that language, but you have a desire for what is good and true and beautiful, and you find yourself being struck by things. I really feel like Nye as a poet is all about helping people find connections in the little things that they see and really sharpening and focusing our attention. And this poem is really about being able to find that connection and to realize that we do live in this shared world. So I'm just going to read parts of this, and I'll just keep seeing you. So this is, in some places, this is Gate 4A. Some places, this is Shared Worlds. If somebody can correct me in the actual title, that would be fantastic. After learning my flight was detained 4 hours, I heard the announcement. If anyone in the vicinity of Gate 4A understands any Arabic, please come to the gate immediately. Well, one pauses these days. Gate 4A was my own gate. I went there. An older woman in full traditional Palestinian dress, just like my grandma wore, was crumpled to the floor, wailing loudly. "Help," said the flight service person. "Talk to her. What is her problem? We told her the flight was going to be 4 hours late and she did this." I put my arm around her and spoke to her haltingly. "Shu dua, shu bidok habiti, stani shwe min fadlik shobit sui." The minute she heard any words she knew, however poorly used, she stopped crying. She thought our flight had been canceled entirely. She needed to be in El Paso for some major medical treatment the following day. I said, No, we're fine. You'll get there, just late. Who is picking you up? Let's call him and tell him." We called her son, and I spoke with him in English. I told him I would stay with his mother till we got on the plane and would ride next to her, Southwest. She talked to him. Then we called her other sons, just for the fun of it. Then we called my dad. He spoke for a while in Arabic and found out, of course, they had 10 shared friends. Then I thought, just for the heck of it, why not call some Palestinian poets I know and let them chat with her? This all took up about 2 hours. She was laughing a lot by then, telling about her life, answering questions. She had pulled a sack of homemade mamoul cookies, little powdered sugar crumbly mounds stuffed with dates and nuts, out of her bag, and was offering them to all the women at the gate. To my amazement, not a single woman declined one. It was like a sacrament. The traveler from Argentina, the traveler from California, the lovely woman from Laredo, we were all covered with the same powdered sugar and smiling. There are no better cookies. And then the airline broke out the free beverages from huge coolers, non-alcoholic, and the 2 little girls for our flight, one African American, one Mexican American, ran around serving us all apple juice and lemonade, and they were covered in powdered sugar too. And I noticed my new best friend, by now we were holding hands, had a potted plant poking out of her bag, some medicinal thing, with green furry leaves. Such an old country traveling tradition. Always carry a plant. Always stay rooted to somewhere. And I looked around that gate of late and weary ones and thought, this is the world I want to live in. The shared world. Not a single person in this gate, once the crying of confusion stopped, has seemed apprehensive about any other person. They took the cookies. I wanted to hug all those other women too. This can still happen anywhere. Not everything is lost. Such a good poem. So I hope that you stay with me and my dorky fangirl self over poems and the classics and reiterations of those classics, and that you follow my Facebook page and that you follow me on Twitter and that you check out my Pinterest page where I'll be able to kind of post some things that stand out to me and collect them all in one space. If you have suggestions or questions or ideas, you can email me at thesharedworld, all lowercase 19 at gmail.com.